28 years of experience. She's a past president of the American College of Employee Benefits Councils, and she's a B&A author. We have Charles Cohen, senior counsel at Morgan, Lewis and Bockius, who's a leading national authority on labor and employment law. He's so well recognized for his expertise that he frequently testifies before Congress on critical labor issues, and he's a B&A author. And we have Linda Baumann, a partner at Aaron Fox, 35 years of experience and deep expertise in healthcare issues. She's a former chair of the ABA Health Section. She used to work in the General Counsel's Office of the Department of Health and Human Services, and she's helping our customers navigate the new healthcare law. So we have these very impressive practitioners contributing their insights, and we have the in-house reporting muscle as well, with more credentialed and more seasoned reporters covering Capitol Hill than any other news organization. Long before stories show up in the Washington Post or the New York Times, our professionals are trawling the hallways of Congress and government agencies to see what's coming down the pike. And people on the inside, people who are doing the actual work here, talk to us. And they talk to us willingly, and they often seek us out because they know we're not looking for a gotcha soundbite or looking to push a particular agenda. They know that B&A delivers objective reporting and analysis, and that helps us get access to people and to places that other organizations simply don't have access to. And it's always been that way. On the very day that the Taft-Hartley Act passed in 1947, B&A released the definitive book explaining how this landmark labor law would affect businesses and employees across America. And we were able to do that because we had been working on that book all through the legislative process. 9 days after the first Earth Day and 7 months before the creation of the Environmental Protection Agency, B&A released its Environmental Reporter publication. When the Americans with Disabilities Act was passed in the 90s, B&A developed the go-to guide for the HR community. When Sarbanes-Oxley passed in July of 2002, we had a thorough implementation guide ready for corporations and for accountants. And in recent months, B&A customers have been looking to us to make sense of the comprehensive new healthcare law and financial reform law. And we've been delivering objective analysis and perspective and tools to help them deal with all those new requirements, and we've been doing that for many, many years. Even our software developers take the same approach. They don't wait for a tax law to pass. They track these bills as they go along so that when a new bill is passed, our software is revised and the changes are reflected in the software within days of being signed into law. So B&A has been ahead of the curve with reliable analytical information our customers need, and that is how we have earned their trust. Trust is why we have maintained high customer retention rates for decades, and those rates remain high no matter what the economy is and no matter what the business environment is. Trust is why you'll find B&A products and publications in every single major law and accounting firm, every Fortune 100 company, and every major federal government department and agency. And trust is how B&A has survived and even thrived as the marketplace and the industry has changed all around us. It all begins, of course, with meeting the changing needs of customers. In short, today's customers want more context with their content and more bang for their buck. So we can't just report anymore. We can't just analyze anymore. As more of what we used to do gets commoditized, we've got to keep climbing up the economic value chain. Here's an example from my own personal career. I started at B&A in the early 70s as an editor on U.S. Law Week, which was one of our flagship publications. And like every editor at B&A, I was most proud of the proprietary analysis that we provided because I was writing it. But back then, U.S. Law Week's claim to fame wasn't our cutting-edge insights. It was the fact that we were the only place you could go to get the text of Supreme Court decisions within days after they were handed down. Think about that. Think how different that is today. The big value add for our customers, the reason they subscribed was because we essentially transcribed Supreme Court decisions the day they were handed down and mailed them out that night. In fact, we didn't even really transcribe them. We would get the opinion from the court and cut and paste it and photograph it. That's such a quaint notion today. These decisions nowadays are available instantaneously. Today's customers have much higher expectations, not only for the content we deliver, but also for what we enable them to do with it. Authoritative, high-quality content is still essential. But we can tell you from our perspective, it is no longer enough. People want to manage and massage your content and be able to integrate it with their own. They don't want information in isolation. They want to understand how a legal development impacting their clients fits into a piece of financial data or industry news or political actions. And not just in general terms. They want CPAs assessing tax changes and lawyers explaining legal changes, knowledgeable professionals writing for fellow professionals. Customers want practice tools they can integrate into your content in real time. And they want all this information faster and cheaper. As customers have increasingly demanded more context with their content, more bang for their buck, it has driven tremendous change among the vendors that provide it all. Scope and scale have become decided competitive advantages in our industry, really indispensable advantages. Creating high-quality content has never been cheap. Especially for professional markets, you need people who understand the subject matter, understand the profession, and understand the professionals they write for. You often need to hire professionals themselves to create that content, to make it useful for their peers. And in recent years, the expense of creating and maintaining ever more sophisticated and variable delivery platforms, tools, search engines, and supplementary data have become a large burden, even for mid-sized companies like B&A.